if you're looking for a good time, look no further than the Guaranteed Rate Bowl, 10:15 p.m. Eastern on ESPN on Tuesday, December 27th. It's at Chase Field, the home of the Arizona Diamondbacks. And Mitch, weird things happen when football games are played in baseball stadiums, specifically bowl games. So even though it's two teams, it's Oklahoma State and Wisconsin. Down arrow in the logo might be well represented of the trajectory of both of these teams' seasons. By November, Oklahoma State had started out 6-0, and they're having one of the worst injury streaks that we've ever seen. They lose 16 starters to injury over the course of the last 6 weeks. And they finished 1-5. So after starting 6-0, they're sitting there at 7-5. Have a tough loss to Oklahoma in the Bedlam game. They just can't really get it done, losing so much of their talent. They've also watched 6 starters leave via the transfer portal by the time of, this preview being published. So not looking good from a depth standpoint for the Cowboys. Really just, it's going to be a lot of even Cowboys fans probably referencing their roster cards in this one. Wisconsin, of course, kind of surprisingly fired Paul Chryst midseason thanks to a woeful offense that couldn't even compete in the Big Ten West. And the Badgers finished 6-6 before bringing Luke Fickell on board. So even though he won't coach in this game, there's still, a lot of optimism in the program based on that hire. Graham Mertz, the starting quarterback, is bolted for Florida, leaving the Badgers without a quarterback one for this game. And so again, another school who is, even their fan base might be referencing the roster cards a lot in this one. It's going to be a lot of second and third stringers getting their shot. And, when that happens, we get a lot of entertaining, maybe messy, but entertaining football.
You certainly do, and yeah, I think when I think of this game, it's kind of the Super Bowl for second and third stringers, right? A lot of middle aged alumni, both of these teams sitting in their recliners, reading glasses slipped down their nose. Whether it's reading their
Probably half
laptop
asleep.
or reading a printout, yeah, before falling asleep in the second quarter. This is a late game. Um, such a disappointing campaign for both of these teams. Let's start with Oklahoma State. I think the Pokes can win and get to 8-5 on the season if they establish the running game. Now, the biggest concern there is that Dominic Richardson bolted for the portal. So RB1 not available for the Pokes either. That being said, this Wisconsin team, not the Badgers team of old that could stop the run week in, week out, they were very, very susceptible to a power running game. And if Oklahoma State can get some of that momentum going, it might be a long day for Wisconsin in what's probably a very ugly, low scoring game. I think the team that runs the ball better is just flat out going to score more points. So I give the edge there to Oklahoma State. For Wisconsin, this may sound sloppy, but because we don't really know what their offense is going to look like, new head coach Jim Leonhard is obviously in his final interim game, and then he's leaving the program. So, very bittersweet moment for a legacy guy who is hoping to be the head coach and then just frankly got passed over. Um, if they can compose enough drives to take time off the clock against that injured and an empty secondary, the linebacking core for Oklahoma State, there's just not a lot of healthy bodies back there. I think that's how Wisconsin wins this game. I truly believe that Wisconsin has the bigger uphill climb in this game, but I will say Braylon Allen is one of those guys who's not in the portal yet as of recording this pod. So if Allen lines up at running back for Wisconsin, they've got a chance. If he doesn't, I don't really know that the Badgers are going to finish above 6-6 this year. Oklahoma State secondary is also something to watch. They were great before the injuries, but now with transfers and the MASH unit is quite literally full with injured bodies. There's potential to see some long runs against the Pokes as well. I think that's really how Wisconsin wins, but I don't feel confident enough to give them that. I'm going to go 24-10 Oklahoma State wins over Wisconsin.
Man, I really want to pick Oklahoma State in this one. I just would really love to see them cap off a really frustrating season with a big bowl win, but I don't know. I think I trust Wisconsin more to dictate this game's tempo. I think, gosh, I'm going back and forth live on air here, but I'm going to go Oklahoma State. I think they have just a few more athletes, and Wisconsin's kind of in a weird transition, too. They're obviously going to change up their offense pretty significantly. They got a lot of players that probably don't know their roles, even if they're sticking around. That's enough of a distraction for me that I think I'm going to roll with Oklahoma State in this one. I think it's going to be a close, low scoring one, though. I think I'll go Oklahoma State 24, Wisconsin 13.
Love
And
it.
yeah, like we said, weird things happen when bowl games played in baseball stadiums. So be sure to stay up, drink a cup of coffee, stay up for this one, and you'll enjoy watching the Guaranteed Rate Bowl live from Phoenix.
Gracious him! How about